Alright, mastering astral projection, day 86, I think is where we're at now. And so we're doing the solar plexus again today. Same thing as before. We were calling it the bouncing ball method. And so I did it again this morning. It's not a bad method. I started with it. It's one of those that you can kind of hang on to for a long period of time because you can play with it a lot. So what was I doing? I was making the ball go back and forth. So I was laying down, I was doing this in bed. I was making the ball go from my head down to my feet. I was bouncing it up and down from ceiling to floor. And it's kind of like the, what does he call it? The point shift method, where you are changing your point of view. So you imagine that the ball's bouncing around, but then you put yourself in the ball and you move your consciousness around with the ball, which is kind of fun. You can put it way out in front of you and then bounce it in front of you. You can bounce it right through your body. You can bounce it from side to side. There's a lot you can do with it. So it's kind of more of an exit technique than it is an energy body loosening technique. However, it does kind of start out that way because when you first engage in the practice, you move the ball a little bit at a time out of your body. So that's kind of energy loosening. I still feel like the helicopter method works really well for the energy body loosening, and I expanded on that today. And I actually, to try and modify it from an energy body loosening technique into an exit technique, I actually got myself up to the ceiling. So I was doing spinning up at the ceiling, and then I turned myself upside down and looked at my body, and I could see my body spinning beneath me. So you can really feel stuff loosening up. So it's a cool technique. Still haven't gotten out of the body though, which is kind of annoying. I've actually posted to the forum again, the Astral Projection forum, to see if one of the guys there can help me to figure out why it is that I am really stuck. It seems like with all this practice and all these techniques, I should have gotten out by now, but it's just not happening. So we'll see what people have to say. I have this peculiar feeling though that it has to do with my polarity, because I have a really strange polarity problem. Like, people can't do kinesiology on me because my body doesn't respond to yeses and nos in the right way. There's a bunch of other examples I could give you, but I'm not going to go into it. The week 13 chapter starts with the basics of OBE navigation. So if you could get out of your body, this is what you might experience. One is astral physics. The laws of physics do not apply to out-of-body environment. There's no gravity. He said that the only reason that you fall is because you expect to fall. So the subconscious actually has such... He talks about this a little bit more, the actual presence of the conscious mind and the subconscious mind during astral projection. It seems that the subconscious has even more influence over the experience. So the subconscious mind and the expectation to fall will actually drag you down. But all motion is controlled by your thoughts. So you focus on where you want to be, and then you propel your body or will your body to move there. He said it helps to imagine if you're wearing roller skates. So if you recall, part of the process of going through what would happen if you got out of your body for the first time, they talk about you're floating to the locations that you've picked out as your points of reference in the room that you're in. So I don't remember if I mentioned this before, but they did talk about it is kind of like the feeling of having roller skates on. So if you've ever roller skated, this would probably fit right on your feet. To stop or change directions, you feel yourself stopping by reversing the point shift action, and then having yourself pull back. And to increase speed, you can get to the speed of a bike or the speed of a car, is what he says. You feel yourself driving and increasing speed and then turning corners and so on. And you basically just will yourself to go faster. You can go faster on well-lit open roads than you can on poorly lit roads. Another subconscious thing. Interesting. To fly, as soon as you stop the thought providing the motion, you'll start sinking back to the ground. So flying requires an intention and will, but you can't go on autopilot. You have to constantly keep that will and attention going. And it says that many people find that flapping their wings like a bird will help them lift off and gain speed and altitude. So I think I'll talk about getting into the real time zone. So after the exit, most new projectors find themselves in the real time zone, which we've talked about. And then they'll often just go straight into the astral planes. The length of time you can spend in the real time zone varies according to the attunement of one's energies. So basically, the more work that you do on your energy body, the more time you're going to be able to spend in the real time zone. And if you're not doing all of that work, so there are a lot of astral projectors who dismiss this energy development. They say it's not necessary, and that's because they're going straight into astral land rather than working in the real time zone. So Robert Bruce says that if you can develop the energy body, you can stay in the real time zone longer without being pulled into the astral realm. He says there are things to do, in both the astral realm and the real time zone that you might want to check out. So the more energy raising primary energy center that you do, but overstimulating the brow and crown centers will attune you to the astral realm. So it seems like the real time zone is more in the lower energy centers, and the astral realm is more in the higher energy centers. So depending on where you're putting most of your focus. The way to shift back to the real time zone from the astral realm is to imagine what your room feels like and where you left your physical body, and try to feel yourself being there. The thing that could happen is you could go back into your body, but you should be able to project back out of it again. And you can also do the command method, which is take me back to my room. Okay, so I think we'll stop there for now. There's quite a bit of information on this week, but since we got all week to talk about it, we will. See you tomorrow.